8:44. Welcome back on this Wellness Wednesday. Back in studio, of course, with Spencer Shilstone, our fitness and nutrition expert. Spencer, this morning, is unpacking a lot about the injury report. This morning, we're talking about Taysom Hill, who is back, and that's what we're starting with. So just walk us through the injury itself. What happened to Taysom's knee?
So back in December of 2024, Taysom suffered a ACL tear and 4 stabilizing ligaments. He had 2 players tackle him at the knee, and he required essentially a partial knee repair. So that takes anywhere from 12 to 24 months to come back. And yet here he is on the field throwing a 19-yard pass to Juwan Johnson 10 months later. So it's very impressive, and it shows a lot about his work ethic to get back to that point.
Yeah, so how do we get here?
So, you have 3 stages to come back. Right now, Taysom is in the return to sport stage. So that's anywhere from 9 to 14 months. Before that, you have return to participation. This is when you go back to practice, no contact whatsoever, like individual drills. But return to sport is, hey, we can start putting the pads on, but we're going to limit that snap count.
Okay.
And then after that, we talk about return to performance. Now, that takes about 14 to 24 months. And that's when you're either pre-injury or you're doing even better. But where Taysom's at right now, his play style actually benefits him. So if you think about it, you look at what he did this past week. So he did, I think it was 8 offensive snaps, 3 on special teams. He did everything from the run as a QB, so a wildcat type of offense. That doesn't require him to be explosive right off the gun. And the type of work that he's doing doesn't have a lot of work on the knee in a stabilizing sense.
So then that brings us to how potentially he's modified how he plays the game in order to be fully ready to go.
Well, I think that's also a coaching decision.
Okay.
You see in the receiving play, he was actually in motion. He did not come straight off the line. And that's actually less force on the knee. So it's very smart of them to do it in that sense. But his play style is the fact that he only played 8 snaps, but they are important snaps. So if you look at Tyreek Hill, who got injured last week with a very similar injury, multiple knee ligament injury, it's going to be a lot harder for him to come back and play his type of game. But Taysom's a jack of all trades. So just him being on the field creates problems for the defense. So in training right now, I wouldn't expect them trying to build strength and hypertrophy. They should have already been doing that prior to this.
Okay.
Now it's going to be about building eccentric strength and isometric strength. He's going up against a line. He needs to be able to not let that push him back. So that's that eccentric strength right there. But he also needs to be able to keep his knee safe and stable. So that's proprioceptive and isometric strength. Don't let anyone push away from you, but you don't have to jump and move back and forth like a receiver would. So you're not going to have that hard impact moment on the knee. So his play styles will real benefit to what he can do right now.
It's real interesting how those injuries and the recovery for them play into the larger focus for the team. But watching this, we all have had knee injuries. It's something that's common. What's the takeaway for those of us at home who may have had a similar situation? How do we recover when we don't have the resources that Taysom has?
And I think that's a great point. So we're talking about Taysom coming back in 10 months. The typical timeline is not that. So you really, if you're coming back from an injury yourself, give yourself the patience to do it, but you need to have that determination to do the work. Because coming back from an ACL tear, that's not just something that you just, hey, I go to rehab, I'll come back and everything. You got to put in the work, and it really takes the psychology of that person to get through that. So just know that you're going to have support around you, but it's going to be on you to go in and do the work.
All right. Well, Spencer Shilstone, thank you so much for being here this morning. Of course, each week you get what you need to get from Spencer, and MaxwellNutrition.com has all the tips you need to know, some workout tips, also some good menus there. Yeah,
and look, I'm going over every NFL injury each week on the injury desk. Just go to MaxwellNutrition.com and Maxwell Nutrition Official on all socials.
All right. Thank you, sir. Really interesting how it relates to us, too, and some of the injuries that we do have.